folks, the time has come to talk about the chef, okay? Good old TTCF. We haven't done a dedicated video to TTCF in a little bit here. There's a lot going on with the stock price, with the movements, with the underlying business fundamentals. We got to talk about this upcoming earnings. There's a lot we got to discuss in today in regards to TTCF, so I figured let's just do a dedicated video to the stock. Let's talk about it on all these different fronts and kind of what's going on and what's likely to transpire with this stock. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this as always. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not. And also thank you, Moomoo, for sponsoring today's video. We do appreciate you. Check out the link that is a pinned comment down there. Alrighty, guys. So, it's interesting, right? TTCF, it's like, it's going to $5. It's always like, I don't know what it is about $5 in relation to a stock. Short sellers always say, it's going to 5, it's going to 5, things like that. There's always a lot of debate around TTCF. It is, I would call it a level 2 tier in regards to the level of debate around the stock. It's not up to like a Tesla level. It's not up to like a Palantir level, something like that, where it's highly debated. But it's like that next tier down of a stock that a lot of folks seem to have an opinion on, seem to want to either own or short, or it gets people going. I don't know what it is about TTCF. It's just that type of stock. Here today, folks posted this in my, my private stock group's Discord chat. I guess Kevin bought about $1 million roughly worth of Tattooed Chef here. So in regards to Kevin buying TTCF, okay, my opinion on that is, if you're a long-term bull on TTCF, don't trust a move like that. Like Kevin could easily sell out tomorrow, and that's no disrespect to him. That's just honest truth when it comes to him. He's in and out of these stocks all the time. A long-term hold for him might be 6 months. He's in, he's out, he's all out of stocks. All of a sudden he's buying $5 million worth of stocks, and then, if all of a sudden the Fed says something, he might be all out again. If the stock goes up a bunch short-term, he might be out. If the stock goes down a bunch short-term, he might be out. So, I wouldn't necessarily trust a move like that in regards to him. But, it is what it is. Obviously, he decided to buy TTCF. Obviously, you guys know my opinion on this stock and where I believe it's going over time. I believe this is a huge moneymaker over the next many, many years. And, it's just kind of one of those stocks that just has a lot going for it. Now, in relation to the stock, I told you guys, this is I would call it a tier 2, highly debated stock. And, it clearly is when you look at not just the commentary around the stock and how many people either want to get involved with the stock or seem to have an opinion on it, but look at the short interest on the stock. Somebody posted this in the Discord chat as well. This is an extremely highly shorted stock. Now, the shorts could be covering in the chef as we speak right now, and it's very hard to see the accurate numbers that are going on right now. Everything's kind of a lag, and that's very disappointing when it comes to short interest and shorts having disclosed, to disclose these positions, hedge funds and things like that. It'd be beautiful if we could see it on a day-to-day basis. That's not how it works, okay? But nonetheless, this has been a heavily shorted stock, and, shorts have just kind of shorted the stock into oblivion. And whether that holds up, we'll have to see. But it's been ugly in terms of how many folks want to actually short this stock. Okay, now what we're seeing is a massive distribution in terms of the TTCF in stores across the United States right now. But even more importantly than that, we're seeing massive SKU expansion in their main retailer, which their main retailer is Target. Okay, Target is the most, the best run retailer out there last several years. Their stock price has been rewarded for that. The shareholders of Target have been rewarded for that. Target's been on fire. They know what they're doing, and they're so forward looking, right? And so Target's extremely important for Tattooed Chef specifically at this stage of Tattooed Chef's growth trajectory. Maybe in a few years it might be very different. Maybe a Smith's, or Kroger, maybe that's the most important retailer. But for right now, Tattooed Chef is, Target's the most important for Tattooed Chef, okay? So what we're seeing is we're starting to see end caps with Tattooed Chef products on it, which are great for visibility of the Tattooed Chef brand. Not just for sell-through, but for branding, for people to see this and be walking by the end caps. And if you're on the end caps, that's a pretty big deal. Let's just put it that way. That means essentially, because usually how end caps work in massive retailers is they change out whoever's in the end cap. So if you're in the end cap, it's a pretty darn big deal. Let's just put it that way. That means they want to get your brand more visibility. That means they want everybody to see this brand, and they believe the sell-through will be strong. They're not going to put something on an end cap if it's not selling, because that's just no. Okay, you don't do that as a retailer. Okay, I started at Walgreens back in my working career. Well, technically Einstein Bagels, but then after that I worked worked for Walgreens for several years, and I learned a lot about retail working at Walgreens. And, one of the things is if you're going to put stuff on the end caps, it better be moving on those end caps, okay? And so this is something we're seeing that's really, really big, okay? Now, it's not just that. It's not just that. You're seeing Tattooed Chef get expansion in the aisles as well. And when it comes to Tattooed Chef, some of these stores, they might have a half a door, which this is kind of like what you call a half a door situation. But there's other stores, especially a lot here in Vegas and other states or cities around the United States that are major cities, that essentially they're getting a full door in, okay? Now, this is in Delaware here, where Tattooed Chef has a smaller position in the Delaware stores. Sometimes the East Coast is a little slower moving with an innovative brand like a Tattooed Chef that's more of a, it's not like Tattooed Chef is just a vegan company, right? They're kind of a vegetarian, let's call it that, kind of skewing more toward the vegan movement. But the East Coast is a little slower with moving toward that movement. So what you're going to see pretty consistently is on the East Coast and maybe in the South as well. Tattooed Chef is a slower mover in some of those markets in terms of getting in the stores, getting the presence and things like that, versus on the West Coast, you're seeing, full doors already with Tattooed Chef. And remember, this is a company that wasn't even relevant 2 years ago. Like, Tattooed Chef wasn't even relevant 2 years ago. So, I mean, at this time last year, they might have had like a couple SKUs in Target stores, and now it's just amazing to see kind of the movement here with this one. Now, this is another store here, or actually that's the same store, okay, in Delaware. But look they got the end cap in Delaware. That's big. That's big, to have a, once again, on the East Coast, to have a full presence like that, that's a really, 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 really big deal, okay? Now, look at this. This is Costco. So Costco, somebody posted this picture of Costco here, multiple big SKUs there in Costco. Now, I want to explain something very, very important when it comes to Costco and Sam's Club. Not a lot of folks really realize kind of, when you get these items, because sometimes people see a bunch of Tattooed Chef items come in, then all of a sudden they'll go back a month or two later and they're like, wait a minute, there's no Tattooed Chef items. So I really want to explain how this works. I want to give a big thank you to Moomoo for sponsoring today's video. If you have not downloaded the Moomoo app yet on your phone or your tablet, I would definitely do so. It is one of the coolest, most in-depth apps I've ever seen, and you can actually place trades right through the app as well here. They get a 4.7 out of 5 stars so far on the Apple App Store, so very, very impressive. One of the coolest features for me personally so far using the app has been the calendar feature, which will essentially show you economic data that's upcoming, earnings that are upcoming, IPOs, dividend stock splits, things like that. That is the type of data that a lot of us as stock market investors, we like to know, like what are the upcoming earnings, or like what's the upcoming economic data that's going to be coming out that's going to affect the market, upcoming IPOs, dividend stock splits, things like that, okay? They also have free level 2 trading data right inside their app. I'll say this is arguably the most in-depth app I've ever come across in the stock market since I've been doing this over the last 12, 13 years now. And right now they have a deal where you get 5 free stocks valued up to $3,500 each. Okay, 5 free stocks valued up to $3,500 each. All you got to do is check out the link in the description down there, set up an account. Really cool deal. Check it out. It's the first link in the description. When it comes to Costco and Sam's Club, basically how these stores work is if you can move a lot of volume, they're going to take your product in. And most products in Sam's Club, Costco, especially in the freezer aisle, they move around. So you're in the aisle, usually that kind of means that's like a stable item. So they want to consistently have that there because people consistently buy it. But with Tattooed Chef, they'll have some items inside the aisles, especially in Sam's Club specifically, I've noticed. They'll have some items inside the aisle, which is great, that are consistent sales, but they'll also do these kind of special one-off items that, can push up revenue definitely in a major way. And last year at this time, they had a lot of different items that were definitely helping out. And this year, they definitely have some deals that are going through with Costco and Sam's Club that are for some of these, one-off items that basically it's just move a ton of volume. Sam's Club, Costco love it. When you're in Sam's Club and Costco, you have to move like stupid volume essentially. If you're in a grocery store, actually the expectations for volume move is much muted versus Costco and Sam's Club. They will only take you in if you can move stupid volume. Let's just put it that way. And so the fact that Tattooed Chef can come in there and do these deals with Costco and Sam's Club and they move the type of volume, Sam's Club and Costco love it. Obviously, the chef loves it. You're usually going to collect, generally speaking, a lower margin from selling into Costco and Sam's Club. However, it's beautiful for building your brand because, gosh, I don't know if you guys have ever gone to a Costco on a Saturday afternoon. That place is busy, okay? And so this is great visibility. Even if it's a much lower margin you got to collect from a Costco, Sam's Club, who cares? The fact is, when you're a growth company like Tattooed Chef, you just want people trying your products. You want people getting familiar with their brand. So then when they go to Target or, Walmart in the future, Tattooed Chef's not really in Walmart heavily yet, right? The other brand's a little higher end. So when you go to Target or a lot of these grocery stores and whatnot, you have a much higher probability of someone buying it if they've experienced it because they went and saw your product and tried it out in Costco, Sam's Club, things like that, okay? So that's an important thing to remember is a lot of one-off items, and I want everybody to educate other folks because I see some people saying, wait a minute, I saw a Tattooed Chef item was here last month. No, it's not here anymore. Does that mean Costco doesn't like Tattooed Chef anymore or something? That's not the way it works, okay? And sometimes you'll see multiple SKUs all at once. It doesn't mean necessarily Tattooed Chef's going to have that. When it's at the end caps specifically in Costco and Sam's Club, they move product in, move product out, then they try something else. Then all of a sudden Tattooed Chef's like, hey, let's try this item, and all of a sudden they'll bring it in, okay? So it's very, very important, and everybody needs to educate everybody on that kind of moving forward, okay? Now, Target store here. So multiple pizza items here. And then if we go ahead and look at this one, they got about a half a door here in this particular Target. Unfortunately, the person that posted this didn't put the state or the city it was in, unfortunately. The acai bowls and the cold brew dark chocolate bowls, these are actually the items that Tattooed Chef started with in the Target stores that were selling pretty good and gave them a chance to introduce some more items. And since then, Tattooed Chef's just been taking off like a rocket ship in terms of sales volume and whatnot. And Target just keeps bringing in more and more SKUs because they move, okay? Now, look at this. This is on the end cap. Look at the amount of space. This is a full door for Tattooed Chef, including the pizza items, which, you really think about Tattooed Chef, you usually think about it in terms of the individual items or maybe some of the products that Costco and Sam's Club sell that are like big, huge packs of stuff, right? But this is a thing of beauty that Tattooed Chef's getting more and more into the pizza game with their cauliflower pizzas and things like that, guys. That's a huge market. That's one of the biggest, frozen food markets out there. It's a frozen pizza aisle. And so the fact that Tattooed Chef's expanding there, getting more and more folks to try out their product is big. And we know the weakness when it comes to the pizza aisle is the vegan products, right? Like cauliflower pizzas and things like that. There's a million traditional products, DiGiorno and Tontino's and all those products that are very popular for if you're a meat eater, right? But in the vegan space, man, or even the vegetarian space, there's not a lot of options for you. These are made with basically a Tattooed Chef's own plant-based pepperoni. And so, yeah, that business in itself has crazy long-term opportunity that's just not even seen, okay? This is from Bruno. Bruno posted this one. I think Bruno lives in Vegas, if I recall. So this must have been from a Vegas store. And, the sell-through is just off the charts for this company. They got a full door in this Vegas store here with the pizzas at the bottom. You got the items. The sell-through is ridiculous for Tattooed Chef. The short sellers are like, oh, yeah, Target keeps taking SKUs and things like that. But what if they're not selling? It's like, dude. Think about this logically for a moment. Target's the most well-run retailer out there. They don't just take SKUs to take SKUs on. Like, you have to be moving stupid volume to get more and more SKUs in. And with Tattooed Chef, they move stupid volume. That's the bottom line with this company. And so it's just one of those that they move crazy volume. So Target's like, hey, if you keep moving this volume, we're going to keep giving you more and more shelf space. We're going to keep giving you more freezer aisle. And that's what they do. And with the freezer aisle, man, somebody's getting kicked out of there because of that, and Tattooed Chef's just moving the items, right? This is from a Massachusetts Target here. Look at that beautiful end cap there, and look at that sell-through. That's just it's just a thing of beauty, And the amount of people that are trying this brand for the first time is off the charts. And the beautiful thing about the food and drink business is, when you get somebody to be a consistent customer, the lifetime value of that person is off the charts. When you're a food and drink company. You just need to get people to try your items, right? And so that's why if you ever go to Costco, Sam's Club, some of those stores, that's why it's kind of weird in the Roni days. They don't do this as much now. But the samples, right? Why do you think all those companies want to sample products for free and they pay in a Costco employee to essentially sample all these items? Why are they doing that? Because they want you to try it. Because if you try it and you like it, that at least gives them a chance to sell it, right? And so, nonetheless, this is huge, like the sell-through for Tattooed Chef. And the company is still so young. That's what I think a lot of folks forget. Imagine as this company gets more and more loyal customers that love the product, right? Like myself that loves to eat it every day. Oh my gosh, okay? Look at this. This is the actual door area here. This one, they have a little more than a half a door. And so that's what you're going to see in most Target stores right now is in the aisle, they have anywhere from a half a door to a little more than a half a door to some Target stores. They actually have a full door, especially on the West Coast of the United States of America. Also have these family packs in a lot of Targets now with several different items there. So like family style eating stuff. So that's big, okay? So that's a lot of what's going on the, beneath the surface, I guess you can say, with the fundamentals of the company. Now, in terms of the earnings and the numbers, so let's talk about that for a moment because I think this is very important. So, confusing, right? This upcoming quarter is very confusing in terms of what they're going to report because you have a lot of moving parts here. One is their non-branded business, which is their historical business before they launched Tattooed Chef brand, which was selling private label items to stores like Whole Foods and Trader Joe's and other stores, right? They've been trying to basically wind down that business, which is extremely low margin business. It's not where the company's focus. The company's focus all on Tattooed Chef brand. And so they've been slowly trying to wind that down. So the question is, how much did that business wind down? That's not even really going to be much of an issue in 22 and moving forward. However, it's kind of still an issue here in 2021. So how much did they wind down that business? At the same time, they've been getting into a lot of stores, right? But the question is, when are they collecting revenue for that? Is it when it goes in the other company's warehouse, or is it when it goes in the stores? Things like that. What's the moving parts with that? When did they collect the revenue, or is it going to be revenue that's collected in this upcoming quarter? So that's another kind of confusing moving part there. The SKU expansion target is phenomenal, but when did a lot of that close? Did it close in December? Did it close in January? When we see all these end caps now getting filled with Tattooed Chef items, was this something that was closed at the beginning of January, or was it closed in December? And when you're still a smaller company as far as revenue goes for Tattooed Chef, that can be the type of stuff that makes you either beat earnings or miss earnings, right? And so you have so many confusing parts here for Tattooed Chef that it's dang confusing. Let's put it that way, okay? They have a nice e-commerce business, but that thing didn't even really exist in the past. The Costco and Sam's Club type deals, when did those close? Did those close in December? Did those close in January, right? So this is where this quarter specifically, I'm very confused on what the numbers will be. I'm not confident either way. I'm not confident they'll miss earnings. I'm not confident they'll beat earnings. Maybe they come in line. I'm confused as anybody out there in terms of this, specific quarter. There's so many moving parts. One thing I can say is I believe analysts are low with this number for next year. And remember, there's only 3 analysts that cover this stock. By this time next year, there should be 5 to 10 analysts that cover this stock. There's only 3 that cover it right now. I think they're low. And I think they're going to do 300 mil plus revenue for this company in 22. There's just no doubt in my mind. When I just look at the freezer opportunity for this company alone, never mind you add on the snacks category and everything that's going on there, I think the chef is in a beautiful spot for beating these numbers. I don't even mind if Tattooed Chef comes in with a 285 guide for 22 or 290 or something like that, maybe a little low, because I'd rather the chef under promise and over deliver, which is kind of the opposite of what they did last year. They kind of shot for the moon. They had to, miss some numbers, and obviously shareholders hate miss numbers. You don't want to ever miss numbers. I'd rather have them low ball a little bit, come in a little conservative, and then just smash the numbers throughout the year, quarter after quarter after quarter after quarter. That's what I would rather have, okay? So yeah, analysts are low with their numbers there in my personal opinion, okay? Now, in terms of looking at next year also, analysts have them, there's only 2 analysts that cover on the EPS side. They have them losing 22 cents a share. So I could see them losing that much if they go big time on marketing spend. So, social media advertising, TV advertising, things like that. And they have spent a lot of money recently in terms of advertising. I can see that potentially happening, but in terms of 22 cents, I think there's a decent probability they beat this. So the thing you got to remember with a company like Tattooed Chef is this is such an early days company, right? This company wasn't even relevant 2 years ago. And now all of a sudden you're seeing, you go to your Target store and there's like these end caps and all these items and all these SKUs. I've never seen anything like it in the food industry and since I've been doing this thing, okay? It's been nothing short of extraordinary. Now what comes with that is you're just focused on revenue growth, scale, sell products, sell items, get into people's hands, right? And not really focus on the profitability. But here's the thing. As your business scales more and more, you start getting smarter about how you're doing your packaging and how you're bringing down your costs and all those sorts of things. And next thing you know, and especially if you start getting consistent customers to continue to buy your items, right? And you can bring down marketing spend over time, you can start to become a very, very profitable beast company. I think we all look at Tattooed Chef and we see it selling for $4.99 or whatever. And it's, if you have a brain, you understand it doesn't cost a company even close to $4.99 to make that item, right? So let's say they're selling that item to Target for $3, right? Do you think, as his company scales and get bigger, it's really going to cost Tattooed Chef $3 to make that item? Heck no, okay? I mean, I think they can bring down cost to maybe $1 per bowl, something like that. And if they're selling it for $3, the margins can be pretty insane. You can say, well, maybe in the future they do volume deals where they try to do more sales items. So maybe they sell it into a Target or a grocery stores for $2. Well, still, I don't think the cost on the product itself with the packaging and everything included, I don't think that's going to be any more than $1, maybe $1.25. So the margins on this business should become beautiful over time. Then you add in the snack category. And so this is where 22 numbers, I wouldn't be surprised if they come in much healthier than this, right? It's really going to come down to how aggressively does a company want to add in with marketing? Now, if they go crazy with marketing, I think that's going to help the revenue numbers a lot better, right? So maybe they lose, 22 cents, 25 cents, 30 cents in the bottom line next year, but their revenue comes in way ahead of expectations because they market heavy. So maybe they end up doing a 310, a 330 revenue number, which would blow everybody out of the water. If they come in with like a $50 million beat because they marketed really heavy, that's a whole other situation, because then everybody's looking at it like, wow, this is just a growth beast. So these are kind of some things to think about here. Now, their last time they had a press release, which seems like a million years ago, basically they announced that they completed the acquisition of the Belmont Confections Company, which is essentially 47,000 square feet. That was a deal for $18 million in cash and stock, which is essentially their snack bars. They're going to be building out a snack bar business, nutritional bars, those sorts of things. There's a high probability we're going to start to see some of those items in stores in the front half here of 22 and getting to a bigger presence in the back half of 22. So this is some big stuff coming for Tattoo Chef, which I think is an excitement, something to be very excited about. Snack bars, nutritional bars, and snacks should all launch for Tattoo Chef in 22. We just don't know what quarter they're coming in, what stores are going to come in initially, and things like that. We know their relationship is extremely strong with 3 core retailers, right? Target, Costco, Sam's Club. Their relationships with those 3 is off the charts great. And so if you're thinking about who gets the snack bars, nutritional bars, snack items first, more than likely those 3 retailers, because those are the ones Tattoo Chef has the best relationship with. And so you could see items coming in the front half, meaning the first 6 months of 22, coming into some of those retailers. And then they start getting, obviously, hey, this is our sell-through, so they can start to branch out into grocery stores, convenience stores, all those sorts of things, right? And so yeah, that's a huge, huge deal there. I think we're in the midst of a 2-year divergence that's about to start in Tattooed Chef, where this stock's going to start diverging from whatever the market's doing. So basically how this has worked, and there's a reason I have the island here, okay? Tattooed Chef's going to basically go out to its own island, which is about to start here. So when it comes to Tattooed Chef, they've been very caught up into whatever the feeling is, the vibe is, the movement is for small cap stocks or seen as risk on type stocks. Tattooed Chef has just been very victim to whatever happens there, right? If it's like risk on, everybody's buying, it's going up. If it's risk off, which has been for the last several months, the stock just gets devastated. And that's why it's gone from, 6 months ago, the stock was $19, is $13 here today, right? The reason that's happened is basically been, one, obviously they had the postpone of the conference call. That was devastating. That caused a lot of trust issues. Number 2, it's just been caught in with this massive kind of, movement out of anything seen as riskier, small caps, anything like that. So what I believe is about to happen now is Tattooed Chef's going to go on about a 2-year run where it's going to just become diverged from whatever's going on in the stock market and whatever's even going on in the economy itself. They're going to do their own dang thing. The stock is going to move however it wants to move. And if things are great, the stock's going to be rewarded for that. If things are bad, the stock will be, hurt for that. But it'll start to diverge from the market because it becomes a very specific story that it has a lot of excitement around it. And it starts to become its own little, what I call essentially a cult stock is what the stock's going to end up becoming. And so very similar to how Tesla diverged from the market from about 2019, from basically about 2019, actually it started at the very end of 2018 through basically 2020, Tesla really did whatever the heck it wanted to do, and it moved however it wanted to move. Tesla nowadays is a little more kind of moving with the market, unfortunately. That's just kind of the way it goes. But it had a kind of a 2-year span where it just kind of really diverged from whatever the market was doing, and Tesla just kind of started becoming its own dang thing and moving how it wanted to move. And that's how I see Tattooed Chef essentially, starting to just have this divergence and starting to have outsized moves either way. So yeah, that's something exciting there, guys. So hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, this is a beast of a video, Tattooed Chef. Don't forget to check out today's sponsor for the video, Moomoo. Get your 5 free stocks valued up to $3,500 each from the professional trading platform. Much love as always, and have a great day.